Yo guys, Scudder here. Welcome back to a brand new video. So, recently in the US, as you might know, we had the election, and I've been getting some requests to make a video about it. And before anyone say I'm gonna unsubscribe because you're political, I just want to say that I'm going off by facts, not my own biased opinion. Although, let's be honest, everyone's biased. If you say you're not biased, you're lying. Because let's be honest, everyone's emotions get in their way sometimes, and that's fine. I'm just saying that I'm going to go based on facts instead of my personal bias. Although, I personally go off the facts myself, so I kind of am being biased by using facts because that's just my political opinion. My opinion is going off facts. So, I don't know what you would clarify this as. But this is just an update on certain things, not only the president race, but also a couple other important races to talk about. Alright, now with that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, so the first one I just want to get out of the way, because I don't plan on it to be the main focus, is presidential race. So first off, as you know, President Trump was going against Joe Biden, and it was definitely tight. I mean, you already knew it was going to be tight because you had lots of Biden supporters and lots of Trump supporters, and Joe Biden wins the presidency with 290 electoral votes, flipping the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona, as well as keeping the state of Nevada and New Hampshire, which might not matter, but trust me, it mattered a lot, because Trump could have flipped those, but Biden actually kept them. Same thing with Virginia and Colorado, although increasingly they're starting to become more liberal. Like the last time Virginia and Colorado became Republican, or it was like George Bush. So it's been a while. So they're starting to become more liberal, just like West Virginia used to be liberal, now it's starting to turn conservative. But it was definitely tight. For like 3 days, you didn't know who it was going to be. Election night was going off well. Then, like, I would say about at 10 p.m., it was just, like, dead. And got little progress by little progress. You know, not much. A lot of memes about Nevada and Pennsylvania taking their time, which were funny. But in total, Joe Biden did win the presidency. One key factor is because when you are the president running for re-election, that's, believe it or not, is already kind of not a good key factor, because incumbents have a difficult time to get re-elected, or at least for Trump's sake. The reason why he became president is because he was an outsider, and people were just sick of the Clintons, Hillary. They knew if they elected Hillary, they were just going to have more corrupt government, so they elected Trump. You know, he really reached out to the African American community and the suburban neighborhoods. Yes, he reached out to the Karens. Alright, believe it or not, Karens are important in elections. Who knew? But in 2020, they went for Biden. Although I must add that Donald Trump has had the highest voter rate of African Americans and Hispanics, Latinos for a Republican president since like a very long time. I would say since like Reagan, maybe. So, Trump did get some record numbers. Also, I'm going to go off on this in a little bit later in the video, but even though Biden wins the presidency, at this time of this recording, Republicans are most likely to take the Senate. 2 seats are undecided, so we'll see where that goes. But the other 2 seats that haven't been called is Alaska and North Carolina, and those are strong Republican strongholds, not only for the presidency, but for the Senate. So the chances of a Democrat winning in Alaska or North Carolina are slim. So I would say even in the 2 ones that haven't been called yet in Georgia, yes, which are rare, I must add, are runoffs, which runoffs are like if they are tied, they do a second election to see who wins, and they drop out the third candidates. So like the Libertarians and Green parties and Independents get knocked off, and it's most likely only the Republican or Democrat candidate. So they knock off all third parties. Chances are third parties aren't the leading candidate in some. But this is a historic election. I would say one reason for Trump's loss is, besides him being the incumbent, which is it's not a great key factor for every incumbent, because you have 4 years of stuff from your presidency, good or bad, that your opponents can use against you. So that's kind of a disqualifier, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. So another reason is because of his COVID response. Some say he didn't do so great with that. Also with his controversial judge picks, which I know I said I won't be biased, but personal opinion, I think Amy Coney Barrett is a great justice for the Supreme Court and a great role model for women and a great replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But yeah, even though Biden won, Republicans gained seats in the House and kept their Senate majority and have control of the courts. So yeah, that's just like the brief on Democrat and Republican presidential race, and now it's time to get into the smaller elections.